welcome to another edition of the VOD Weekly News Recap. I am Njie. Good evening. Gambia's Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow on Saturday launched a Transv social mutual insurance company in the Gambia at the Sadauda Keraba Jawara International Conference Center. The launching attracted an array of senior government officials, health practitioners, and the private sector. Transv is a reference social mutual in Senegal, Ivory Coast, and Togo with more than 800 public and private companies under contract. The Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow, during the luncheon ceremony, stated that President Barrow's government has put in a lot of premium in terms of improving the health sector of the country. Reaffirming what Dr. Bitey said, VP Jallow said that health service is very expensive and the government cannot do it all.
We all know what was the state of the health sector before, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of medicine, in terms of personnel. Dr. Salah actually has, given us the numbers in terms of the personnel that are trained, in terms of getting the specialists that are coming to this country.
Vice President Jallow highlighted that fees being charged at health facilities might be cheap for some, but others would not be able to afford. And that is the reality, because if specialists are brought in, fees would be higher and the government would not be able to afford that increment. And that's where the importance of health insurance comes in to take care of that risk.
This is why health insurance comes in, so that you have the insurers take care of some of that risk. Government cannot do it alone. That is why we welcome the existence of private health insurers. And I guess in this case, we also welcome Transv to be part of the players, as mentioned by Representative of Guy-Part, part of the players in that environment. That means the more, like they say, the more the merrier. If there is competition, then the cost begins to come down.
Director of Health Service, gynecologist Dr. Mustafa Bitey, thanked Transv Gambia for coming up with this idea to help reduce the hardship people face to get access to health, adding that as a ministry, it's a concern and a priority as the government cannot do it all by covering all the sectors.
Cannot cover everybody every time for all diseases. So that's not going to be easy. So what you do big bits and pieces. And that's why the law states that after 2 years of the inaction of the law, all members of this country must be in one form be covered by an insurer so that you reduce the hardship. And I think this is the gap that Transv is bringing.
He further said that one of the ministry's biggest problem is to make sure that every person gets access to health without moving. But right now, people are moving about 5 kilometers just to get access to good health, and that their aim is to reduce it to 3 or 4 kilometers for people not to walk much.
The ideal is that you don't walk much distance. Maybe within 1 kilometer you have something, but it is going to be difficult. That's number one. Number two is we want to make sure that nobody goes through hardship to have access to health. Now people think of the taxi they have to take. We've had incidences where people, use donkey carts to go to hospitals, and sometimes it causes a lot of delays and a lot of harm.
The Senegalese-based company focuses on social mutual health providence, microinsurance. The company has set up in the Gambia with the aim of providing a quality response to the Gambian population in terms of health coverage. The Gambia True Mentally Disabled Gambia Office of Mental Health and Substance Abuse and Prevention, Africa Project Against Suicide and International Voluntary Mental Health Organization joined the rest of the world to commemorate World Mental Health Day at the Tanka Tanka Psychiatric Hospital. The theme for this year World Mental Health Day is Mental Health is a Universal Human Right. During the event, Yankuba Suare, a representative from the Ministry of Health, highlighted that having a mental health condition should not be a reason to deprive a person of their human rights or exclude them from decisions of their own health.
Mental health is a basic human right for everyone. Whoever and wherever they are has a right to the highest attainable standard of mental health. This includes the right to be protected from the mental health risk, the right to be available, accessible, and acceptable and good quality care, and the right to liberty, independence, and inclusion in the community they live. Yet all over the world, people with mental health conditions continue to experience a wide range of human rights violations. Many are excluded from community life and discriminated against, while many more cannot access the mental health care they need, or can only access their care that violate their rights. It's like being in chain somehow. Fortunately, WHO is continuously working with its partners to ensure mental health is valued promoted, and protected. And that urgent action is taken so that everyone can access their human right and access the quality mental health care they need.
He said the Ministry of Health has approved investment case on mental health through the WHO, and also mental health service is challenged globally, and Gambia is not an exception. Bakari Kamara, the matron of Tanka Tanka, said family care is important to mentally challenged people and that families should take care of their mentally challenged family members instead of just dumping them at the Tanka Tanka just to be an added burden to the workers there.
Because when the person is being stabilized and then fully fit to reintegrate back to the society, the only thing you will hear, because what we do as our protocol, if someone is being discharged, we will call the family members of that individual. So in case now these particular individuals or loved one do not care that individuals, what directly happens? It gives us a lot of burden, a lot of troubles.
Babukar further expressed that they're doing their best to stabilize patients, but it's not always possible because of the lack of rehabilitation centers in the whole country. Tanka Tanka Psychiatric Hospital is the only psychiatric inpatient facility located in Salaji. It was built in 2009 by a Dutch non-governmental organization and then donated to the Gambia government. Tanka Tanka is a place where people with mental illness are welcomed. They are brought there to stay for a short while, and medication would be given to them till when they feel that they are ready to go back to the society, then they are released. The University of the Gambia on 9th October commenced a 4-day workshop on open distance learning in partnership with the Commonwealth of Learning based in Canada. The ceremony was held at the University Peace Building at the Carnifin campus. During the ceremony, Professor Jane France Agbo, Commonwealth of Learning representation, highlighted that Commonwealth of Learning is based in Canada, established in 1987 by the Commonwealth heads of government with the vision to create and widen access to opportunities for education.
So the Commonwealth stakeholders strongly believe that giving people opportunity to learn helps accelerate progress towards achieving sustainable development, and this contributes to the Commonwealth values of peace, equality, democracy, and good governance.
She further said the Commonwealth of Learning has 3 pathways of change, which are building national resilience, institutional resilience, and improving lives and livelihood.
Our strategic plan of 2021 to 2027 is anchored on learning for sustainable development. And the prayer here is that learning must lead to economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental conservation.
Professor Francis Sarr, Vice-Chancellor of UTG, expressed that the benefits of ODL includes the development of student experiences, enhancement of staff experiences, benefits on space utilization, both physical and virtual.
And in addition, there's an enhancement of the systems for performance management and sustainable financing, in addition to stakeholder engagement.
He further said, subsequent to the sensitization workshop, there would also be pilots and efforts to develop an open distance learning policy, followed by a pilot of courses on open distance learning.
So this is quite a learning process, and for this, a learning process for the staff and students as well. And in many ways, it is furthering the objectives that are set by the administration or the university community to enhance teaching and learning in UTG.
Professor Kayode Adekeye, the project coordinator of UTG, said open and distant learning has become a key occupation when it comes to education across the globe due to the increase of things on a daily basis, which has led to the difficulty of getting physical facilities. The open and distant learning meeting is aimed to sensitize stakeholders on ODL and draft policies for ODL for the UTG. UNICEF and Women Boss earlier today joined the rest of the world to celebrate International Day of the Girl with an all-girls TED Talk tie debate for girls from different walks of life at Paradise Suite Hotel. During the event, Adama Demba, the Deputy Speaker of the Children National Assembly, highlighted that girls play a crucial role in the development of the nation, so they should be invested into by looking at the crucial roles affecting them like FGM and child marriage.
Also, The importance is not just to give girls platforms, but the main objective is to listen to them and be heard. And therefore, these issues will continue to retard our development if we don't involve girls and invest in their well-being and also their leadership.
She further called on all policymakers and developers to involve girls in their leadership portfolios, as well as encourage them to take up portfolios and come up with issues affecting them and also provide solutions for them. Our Mary Lou Khan, the Executive Director of Women Boss, expressed that this is a day to remind policymakers, community leaders, and stakeholders the importance of investing in young girls.
And so it is crucial that we continue to have these discussions, and hopefully today you get to hear from them, from their own voices, to share on ways that we can continue doing our work, and ways that we can continue to invest in their futures.
She further said every time you invest and educate a girl, they would invest right back into their community. Statement by UNICEF the Gambia representative on International Day of the Girl highlighted that today, girls in the Gambia and around the world commemorates the 2023 International Day of the Girl around the theme, Invest in Girls' Rights, Our Leadership, Our Well-Being.
But I just want to take a few minutes for us to reflect that in many places in the world today, not many girls have the chance to be having these opportunities. UNICEF is not having this opportunity to engage with them. And the government and civil society is not having this opportunity. So I really want to express gratitude for this moment and also express our, preoccupation and sincere thoughts to everywhere in the world where girls and children are actually going through very difficult moment of violence and war.
UNICEF the Gambia stated that girls are asking them to strengthen partnerships and work with them to scale up investments in their leadership and well-being without leaving any girl behind. Lieutenant General Yankuba A. Drame on Friday, 12th October, handed over the baton of command and office to the incoming CDS, Major General Mamad Ocham, at Defense Headquarters in Banjul. The event was graced by service chiefs, government senior officials, including the Permanent Secretary of Defense, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Njie, and Security Advisor to the President. CDS Drame was appointed from 5th March 2022 to 29th August 2023, when he decided to proceed with statutory retirement at 60 after serving the country for almost 40 decades of fulfilling military journey. Delivering his farewell statement, retired Lieutenant General Drame advised the new CDS to ensure that the Gambia Armed Force remains apolitical, saying it is his conviction that if the military is divided politically, it's dangerous to the people they're serving.
People can't be divided if they so wish, either on tribal lines, political lines, or otherwise. The armed forces cannot afford itself to be divided. It cannot. The armed forces everywhere is the last line of national unity. If we allow tribalism, politics to creep into the fabrics of the armed forces, I've said it, I want to repeat myself. It presents what I call a dangerous consequences.
As he handed over the chain of command to the new CDS, he reminded him of how they had started the journey with consultation to strengthen military-civil relationships, as the public used to have a bad perception of the military. He said this was not his decision alone, but agreed exclusively as a team, and they consulted among themselves and realized that it was the best trajectory for the military.
We were able to create and sustain what I call a cohesive and united armed forces that represents the interests of this country. Again, that was made possible because of you, the serving members of the military, and I want to say thank you to all of you. Today, the armed forces has nothing to do with religion. We may have a strong connection to religions, but that would not manifest itself in the way we do our things. That's commendable. Remember, the armed forces is the last line of national unity.
According to him, one area they agreed unanimously was to take the military out of politics, and it was a second censure they took. He continued to caution the new CDS to make sure the armed forces are not tribal and religious inclined, while encouraging them to continue to explore innovative ways and measures to ensure it sustains civil-military cooperation and engage at all times, to respect the human rights of the people, and to continue capacity building and training for civil men and women, as well as to ensure their inter-service relationship between sister forces are maintained.
again today, we'll be able to enhance that civil-military relationship through our participation in community-driven initiatives and programs, as well as outreach community visits and engagements. That's the truth. During my conducted tour every year, it's not only limited to serving members, but rather the public at large. We try to fill their pulses. That includes the governors of the different regions, government functionaries, heads of security institutions at those regions, community leaders, alcalos, sefolus, imams. I always engage them in a constructive discussion for them to give me the feedback in regards how my soldiers are performing in their areas. I can say with certainty, consistently, the feedback is one that is quite pleasant.
Dilating on the achievements under his tenure, the outgoing CDS said the 2021 and 2022 reports of the National Human Rights Commissions indicated that GAF is well reformed, has nothing against the armed forces, and the military has committed no crime since he took over.
All we do is to articulate policies and programs. The implementation is those under command. You did not hesitate. Wholeheartedly, you accepted and embraced command policy and directives to make a U-turn. Today, I feel proud and satisfied that what I had set out to do, today we've achieved it. Redeem the armed forces image and place the armed forces as a critical player in the security architecture of this country. That we've achieved. And I want to say thank you to all serving members of the armed forces.
The new CDS Major General Mamat Ocham assured his leadership will usher in fresh ideas as advised by his predecessor and will open new avenues to achieve the transformation agenda of the armed forces.
I submit to you that we have a daunting task ahead of us, and it shall not be business as usual. The trust and confidence reposed on me by this appointment is enormous, but I am encouraged by the level of commitment to service and dedication to duty by the serving members of the Gambia Armed Forces. It is my considered view that we will together make the armed forces greater.
He said GAF under his command will remain loyal and uphold the tenets of the Constitution and the rule of law. He added they will be resolute in upholding the principles of justice, fairness, and equity. Therefore, rewards, benefits, and sanctions will be strictly based on merits, competency, commitment, and conduct.
The armed forces under my command will be an armed forces that is apolitical, subservient to legally constituted authority and power, and law-abiding, but equally highly trained, equipped, and motivated to perform its constitutional roles both at home and abroad.
That's all we have for you today. Until we come your way again, I'm Njie on the VOD.